In 2020, life changed for this farm family.
The day before the national pandemic, I get this phone call from my husband. The house is on fire.
But some cinder blocks and a few social posts turned it around.
To be able to handle that as it comes, let's do something different to help our community. The only way I know how to do that is using physical health.
FarmHer is all about the women, and not just any women, but the strong, smart, and capable women who are loving the land, caring for their communities, and feeding the people. This is FarmHer. This is Amanda Nigg, also known as FarmFit Mama, and the mastermind behind FarmFit training.
When I first started, I was using tires. I was using a cinder block. I had a gal go through my whole entire program where she used buckets of oats. You can find anything you need to use for weight on a farm.
There's always a story behind the business, and this one starts with door-to-door farm insurance.
It was my jam. Rolling up to farms in muck boots and a Carhartt jacket and being like, hey, I have insurance.
And that's when she met her husband.
I did technically call him first. I introduced myself because I took over the territory, and so I had to meet all the old clients.
Well, our family's been on this farm since 1910. Currently grow corn and soybeans, but in the past we've grown alfalfa and wheat.
Amanda married this fifth-generation farmer and started living the farm life.
I cook, I run for parts, I'll jump in the tractor and help out when he needs me.
She gets out in the tractor, grain cart, combine.
I was the first female in 5 generations to drive a tractor on the Nigg farm, so hell yeah.
She's willing to do anything that needs to be done for us, but the most important thing, she provides meals to the people when we're out in the field to keep us fed and ready to go, keep everybody happy, and she's always busier than anybody on the farm, it seems like.
All right, we're ready. All right, guys, you gotta get it while it's hot.
The two built their forever home and started raising a family of 2 boys, John and Bo.
My hellions on wheels, busy little boys. They're into everything, anything fast, love dirt. It's an outfit change every 2 hours because they're covered in mud. Your tummy's saying you're hungry.
It was all coming together, but in an instant, it was falling apart.
The day before the national pandemic, where everybody was locking down, March 19th, 2020.
Foggy, 30 degrees, and she just left to take our youngest to daycare for the last time before the pandemic.
And I just dropped him off, and all of a sudden I get this phone call from my husband. The house is on fire. And I was like, oh, he's pulling a joke on me. And he's like, no, the house is on fire. John and I are in the horse barn. And I was like, no way.
8 o'clock, fire alarm went off, and there's fire to the ceiling, and we run outside instantly, then we run back in the house because we're in our shorts and no shoes, and it's 30 degrees out and windy and cold, so we had to run back in the house, grab blankets.
I was able to make it home in like 10 minutes. And I hear my husband and my oldest crying, and the house is just gone. It sucked. It took a couple days for it to sink in. Oh my gosh, we're homeless. We don't have anything. Everything's closing down. There's no way we can even get groceries. I was in that numb state. What do we do next?
Louie got back to work, healing through farming, but Amanda didn't have anything familiar to return to.
My mental health was horrible. I was still having to homeschool our kids because of COVID, trying to figure out my next step. Like, my job was door to door, and so my career kind of was put on hold. Working out and fitness was huge to me. Nutrition and fitness was such a huge component into who I was. I don't go to a gym. The closest gym is 45 minutes away, and everybody was at home, so gym equipment, like, you couldn't get it. It just non-existent. I was using like cinder blocks for weights. I did that, and then next thing you knew, I was like, what can I create that people in ag can do that can fit into a busy schedule?
Soon, Amanda was a budding businesswoman. It immediately took off through a mentorship program and getting certified as a fitness trainer.
When she first started out farm fitness, I was hesitant. I'm like, wow, what are you doing? How are you gonna do this online? And boy, did she prove me wrong.
He's like, why don't you just post a couple things? He's like, and connect with people that way. I was like, well, I'm gonna host like a planking challenge. And next thing I knew, like 800 farmers are planking all over the United States and Canada. In the fitness industry, if you get your first 6 clients by 6 months, you're doing great. I ended up having a full roster of 25 women in ag within 2 weeks of launching my program.
It's just amazing how much people enjoy her program, and she's on pace to go insane amount of business.
So why is Amanda's fitness program so popular?
Because I live that lifestyle and I know what they're going through. but I'm able to create this program that works alongside of it.
Amanda offers one-on-one coaching, and it's all online. She's there for you each day.
This is 100% online business. It's not in person. In the morning, I'll answer messages back, and then after lunch, I go into every single client's profile and check how they're doing with their run, their water, along with their nutrition.
She makes sure you have the proper form.
Like, for example, when you're doing a deadlift, your weight needs to be in the heels, where a lot of people have it in their toes. Their feedback to us was they couldn't believe how hands-on this is. The accountability is awesome. We're in their profile, giving them critiques, helping them with nutrition, giving them the science and why behind everything.
And she tailors workouts specifically to your surroundings.
I teach everybody, like, a FarmHer is like a CrossFit haven. Like, it's a gym in itself.
Participation in Amanda's one-on-one coaching is limited, but she has launched other fitness programs, and the most recent one came with a big supporter. She had the idea to create a workout using her friend's product called the Warbell, but she really wanted it to be painted John Deere green, and for that, she needed the company's permission.
2 weeks later, they came back and they're like, we actually love what you're doing for the agriculture community. Like, mental health is such a huge component and something that we would like to tap into. We would actually like to sponsor this campaign. And it went over huge. I have men, women, and couples in it right now, all in ag. It was just like getting that feedback from that program, and it's like, okay, this was the right move. Like, of course, I send it all to John Deere. I'm like, look what you helped me do.
Amanda's success with these programs highlights just how much this community was in need of a leader like her. And they may not have found her without a tragic turn of events.
Our house burning down, if that didn't happen, I don't think she would have been on the adventure or the journey she is now with her business. All things happen for a reason. We truly believe that. Turned out for the best.
And it was kind of like I fell into my purpose that I've always wanted to. I just want to keep getting bigger and bigger, you know, and be able to impact more and more lives. And it's super humbling when I have clients coming to me being like, hey, I want to be a part of this. Like, how can I be a part of this?
This Farm Fit Mama came out of the ashes, using fitness as an outlet and teaching others to do the same, creating a better agriculture community along the way. This episode is brought to you by Nationwide, the #1 farm and ranch insurer in the U.S.